You need to only look at the rear tyre of a top bike compared to a street bike to see that these are two completely different machines. It doesn't take a genius to realise that they take completely different riding styles.
Jeez, he did a good job steering that bike away from the centre line.
He is such a good rider. He's proven it over many seasons. Great to see him back.
All street motorcycles have a rounded rear tyre, which means that you lean the bike in the way that you want to steer it. Now, top bike, well, they got a square rear tyre. Look at the size of Troy McLean's rear tyre on this high-tech oils Harley. Now, that means that you've got to steer the bike completely different. Troy put on a great example, as we just saw in qualifying yesterday. Now, the key to how you steer these bikes, well, you want to use the edge of the tyre, exactly like we saw Troy doing. If you can put as much foot on that left-hand foot peg as possible, you can push down on the left-hand rear side of that tyre and it'll move the bike in the direction that you want to go.
Foot pegs are a vital tool in steering the bike, as when the rider's legs are flailing around, it violently shifts weight from left to right, leaving the bike to travel in whichever direction it wants. The golden rule of steering also applies after the finish line, as many top bike racers will preach that this is where the fun really begins. To examine this, let's compare two separate incidents in the braking area with our last two Andra Top Bike champions. In the right-hand corner, we will simulate what direction the rear tyre is steering. First up, we have our 2009 champ, Athol Williams. On this pass, a gust of wind catches his parachute, pushing him right. He steers the bike to safety by tilting on the edge of the tyre closest to the wall. By leaning the bike one direction and his body another, can Athol avoid a nasty accident? Let's check out our next example. Here we have defending champ Chris Matheson riding in only his second race meeting at last season's Fuchs Nationals. On this pass, the oil tank splits, putting oil under the rear tyre at 350 kilometres per hour. Fighting a slippery rear, Matheson's instincts see him steer in the conventional manner, leaning the bike and his body away from danger. This tilts the bike on the wrong side of the tyre, sliding him even closer to the wall. So let's see how these two wild rides ended up. Two similar bikes, two different riding techniques, two very different endings.